What's up, everybody? Welcome to the St. James Show. Appreciate each and every one of you dropping in tonight. I am your host, St. James. I am the prelate of this carnal church sector. Appreciate what's up, Tasha. Inspire. Thank you, Inspire. Always on time, always ready to go. I appreciate you. You are a jewel. You are a jewel. Thank you so much. Who else is in here tonight? Nita. Appreciate you. What's up, Sean? Jacqueline, I just made you a mod. Thank you. Get to work. All right. Anyway, man, tonight is exciting. I can't wait to talk to our special guest. But before we talk to him, I want to remind each and every one of you that Mark Yandris' Garment of Praise is up for voting for a Grammy. So, hey, all you Recording Academy voters, hook it up, y'all. Y'all hook it right on up. And he also has a wonderful Christmas EP that's coming out, Behold Bethlehem. That's dropping a couple of days. When is what? Oh, tomorrow. It drops actually tomorrow. So we want you probably at midnight. So all of your streaming sources, run to them and download them. He is the, he's gospel's white boy. Isn't that wonderful? Mark, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. So each and every one of you, y'all just run out there and do that at midnight. Who else is here? All right. You know what? What's up, 9 million? I'm so happy tonight that we have who we have here. wondering, where is Jason? Where is Jason? So everybody get you something to drink. Let's see, I got a little something. This is nothing but water, y'all. Nothing but water. Don't y'all worry about it. It just has water with bubbles. Some interesting water. Let's see. Yeah, it's water. So let's get right to it. Man, he is one of this generation's greatest choir masters. I've been knowing him for a long time. We are just excited to talk to him today. Mr. Jason McGee.
What's up?
How are you?
I'm amazing. How you doing?
I am good. I'm just so glad to have you on tonight.
Thank you for inviting me. It feels good to be on.
Where you been?
Oh God, I've been here in the great city of Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, man. What is a boy from Bakersfield, California, doing?
The great city of Bakersfield, California.
The great city of Bakersfield. How did you end up in Los Angeles?
Oh man, I moved here 25 years ago.
Wow.
To study theater at the LACC Theater Academy, and honestly, man, after graduation, I realized that I probably had outgrew Bakersfield a little bit,
right?
And that there was really no avenue for me in the field that I wanted to go in. And if I was gonna stay in theater or acting or entertainment, that I needed to stay in the city that was kind of like the father of it. And so
right.
I stayed.
And it was really close. What, hour and a half?
Yeah, it's only 100 miles from home.
Yeah.
So it's a hop, skip, and a jump, especially from where I live. I live in the northern part of LA. So it's really an hour and 15 minutes from my front door to my mom's front door.
Oh, that's crazy. They love your smile.
Oh, thanks, y'all.
Exactly.
Now y'all got me smiling, so it kind of works.
Right, extra. Man, so yeah, I met you when you were way back in Bakersfield. I don't even know how we met. I think I was I don't know. I'm sure I was down in Bakersfield or something.
Vernon Chapel's workshops.
There you go, Vernon. Oh, God bless Vernon Chapel. Oh, his workshops.
Yep. Every March, every year.
Yes.
My mom was one of the directors.
She sure was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. And you just took the mantle and ran with it.
She passed it to me. She was like, "Here you go, son. It's all
I'm tired.
Right.
Here.
She did, actually. She was like, "I'm over it." She always said she was semi-retired, so I could have the mantle. I was like, "All right, cool. Thanks, Mom."
They're gonna grip their wedding rings. They got to remember that they're married tonight, Jason.
I don't know if I should say thank you to that. I don't know what I'm supposed to say to that, but okay.
So when did you become so bougie? When you got to LA or what?
Me, bougie? God, I hate that word because I am so not bougie at all, man. I don't know. People always call me bougie. Like my own dad used to call me bougie. So I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm supposed to go with it. But nah, I'm not bougie at all.
Somebody, they had put a message in the comments when I posted that you were coming on. Oh, that's Mr. Gucci. That's what they did.
I used to work there.
You used to work there in Beverly Hills, right?
Yes, sir. Rodeo
Wow.
job.
You worked there for a while.
5 years.
Yeah, 5 years.
Yeah, it's the best job of my life, man. If it wasn't for music, I would have stayed 100. I would still be there. It was an amazing company to work for. And I mean, hello, it's Gucci. So needless to say, I got a little brand loyalty. So
I don't blame you. I like Gucci too.
Come on.
Listen,
come on. Don't we all?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love your water.
Thank you. Yeah. It's a little colored. I guess it taints color some kind of way. It's good.
Oh, yes.
It's still good.
Wow. This is actual water.
I see. God bless you.
No color change. No color
God bless you in your ministry. See, he turned water to wine. I turn water to other things. All right. So, just take us back a little bit. Okay. Everyone has seen you. They've seen you, and we'll get into some things places you have done, Maverick City and all these other places, where you've done music. Mm-hmm. But where did it start? I remember we talked about Bakersfield. Your mother was a choir director. How old were you when you started directing choir?
I think the first time I ever stood up in front of the youth choir, I was 13.
Okay.
But I always say that I started at age 14 because that's when my mother first put me up in front of the adult choir and let me
Gotcha.
start directing the adult choir. So that's where it started for me. I used to sit up and watch VHS tapes of Orlando Draper and would watch how he would conduct. And then, of course, there was Tyrone Block out of Chicago with,
Man, wasn't the Thompson Community
oh
Singers? Yeah,
man, best
yeah.
choir of all time, in my
See,
opinion.
that's why we get along because you are correct. That's the best.
Still,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
and I am a diehard Ricky Dillard fan,
Me
diehard.
too. Me
But
too.
when it comes to choirs, you cannot talk about choirs without talking about the Tommies. And Tyrone Block was never like, because it wasn't called Tyrone Block and the Tommies.
Right.
People didn't really give him a lot of necessarily didn't know his name all the time,
Yeah.
but like that man was incredible. So 8-year-old Jason sitting in front of the VHS watching,
And you got this man in a robe spinning around and
woo,
directing. It was just like it was so theatrical and so
and smooth though.
Just smooth.
Smooth,
Yeah,
like nobody handles a choir like this man. Like I remember on Jesus Rose, I will never forget him doing
Mhm.
the song with his back to the choir, watching the audience, and he's doing the moves, and he just
Yeah.
literally spun around and caught them in a rock, and then before you know it, they were all swaying together, and I was like, I said, man, I think most kids were watching wrestling at 8 years
Right.
old, whatever. And like, not me, man. I was watching choir VHS tapes, and so between them and then studying my mom on Sunday mornings, I just kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know. I knew very early on that this was something I wanted to do, and never thought it would be a career. Kind of always thought it was only for church.
Yeah.
And then moved to LA to be an actor.
Because you have really taken that choir master thing and broadened it.
Thank you.
You didn't
Thank
you didn't leave it in the church. You didn't leave it just for the spiritual. You kind of really took it out there.
I kind of like I would say probably somewhere like around 2004, 2005, I started realizing that it was more beneficial not in the church, that the
Right.
world needed it a little bit more than the church needed it, that the church had a plethora of choirs, a plethora of choir
Right.
directors, that the world needed something a little bit brighter, if you will. And so I started doing it there. I started doing it for mainstream. So around 2004, I would say I kind of turned pro when I gave up acting and that stuff and kind of was like, this is going to be my thing.
There's Chef Don Don. He says, "Man, I love Jason." He told me earlier today.
What's up?
Man, yeah. So somebody said Darius Brooks. Darius Brooks wrote a lot of the song, but he wasn't the choir director back then. He was on the piano.
Yes, sir. He was the MD and he was the
Yeah.
writer of, and he's actually the one who created the Thompson Community Singers.
Wow.
Darius Brooks, he created them, but he didn't direct them.
He said he can see the influence of both of those. They can see the influence of both of those legends.
That's a huge compliment.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Because
huge.
it's I see these poor souls who get in and one directs at a choir here and they try to mimic Ricky Dillard.
Yeah.
And you can't mimic them. I don't want you to mimic Orlando. I don't want you to mimic Ricky. I don't want you to mimic anybody. I want you to grab from them and create you.
Be inspired. Feel free to be inspired. You can be the child of, you can be, if all of those directors came together and had a kid, it could be you. I learned to influence my theater training into my directing style. And that was like kind of a big deal for me. I'm not the guy who directs every single note. This is not me.
Right.
I direct feel. I direct the feel of the song. And that's kind of big for me. And like, I direct the storytelling of a song. And, that's kind of that was my thing that I hadn't seen done before because of my theater training.
Right.
So I kind of do it like like we're performing a show, if you will.
And the thing about it, people don't like to really admit it, but church is a show.
Yeah.
Church is a show.
The biggest show ever.
It's the biggest show. It's bigger than the circus, huh?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a weekly presentation, but like,
yeah,
we don't like to, show is just really a natural word for presentation.
Yeah.
The spiritual version of it is it's ministry. The natural word is it's a show, but the reality is you are producing something to put in front of the people. So it is a show. It's a showing of something in front of the people. People get really offended by that word. And I'm like, it's really not that big of a deal. It's just really it's the motive behind why we're presenting it that makes it necessary,
The first person I heard break it down was Edwin Hawkins. We were at a seminar and he was like, y'all need to get out of this. This is not a show. You know, people come on, y'all. This ain't a show. It is actually.
It is
until the anointing breaks it.
Yeah.
Then until that happens,
yeah. And we've been to plenty of church services where the anointing didn't quite show up. And we felt like we had just been
a little tardy or got the wrong address.
Or when somebody tried to force it and it was like, he not here.
He's not coming.
He's not coming. He at the house.
Wow. So that's interesting. So so I like the fact that you were able to incorporate like your training of theater into it.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what makes you what you do so impactful. And I've always said when you were I've always said about City of Refuge, they've always been my performance church. That's in my mind. You they talk about churches in LA, you have West Angeles, they're more, and more hymnal, and more
very traditional.
Very traditional.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to City of Refuge. Well, listen here, we gonna go for it. It's gonna be a performance. It's gonna be, and I can appreciate each level of that.
Yeah, man. We were big on producing what we did every Sunday morning. For us, that was ministry. For us, it was like we're all professionals in our careers outside of the church. And for us, it was like we are not going to not bring that here. Whatever we do outside, we're going to double it for what we do inside the church because the people need this. And so we were like, let's just bring all of our excellence into this place and let's just give it back to God, give it to his people. So let's just turn it up. So we used to rehearse like we were going on somebody's Grammys. I used to have choreography rehearsals with songs. I was like, what is wrong with me? But I would do it we would have 3 rehearsals a week getting ready for a concert.
Here's Denise. I trained the Grizzlies for you and I sent them to LA for you to
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Denise, aren't you so glad? You and Camille.
Denise, that's my sis. The Grizzlies, those are my girls, man. Cassie's my best friend. So, and Camille and Cassie still sing with me.
Yeah. So, just kind of getting it. I kind of probably going to jump around everywhere tonight. So, let's see, City of Refuge. How long were you there?
As a member or a director?
That's a good question. You got to ask those questions these days. Let's say as a director.
Okay, as a director, 17 years.
17 years. Wow.
17 years, yeah.
Cassie
I started directing in 2004 and I left in 21.
21. You pretty much left. That's pretty much like after the pandemic.
Yeah.
What was that? Did you lose the interest like all of us did? We just kind of faded.
You know what it is, man, when it comes to church and the pandemic and all those things. I knew that my time was coming to an end before the pandemic. Okay. I had become the worship pastor and it was great. But I knew that I had reached the top of where I could go in that capacity. And I knew that it was just feeling like it's time for me to move on. I've literally done everything I can do here. I've directed through multiple recordings and concerts and built choirs and built groups and done shows and all these things. And I was like, and then when the pandemic, when it shut everything down, it just kind of sent my interest to other places. And I knew that it was just, you just feel like it's time to go.
Yeah. I was asking the Lord when I was at a church. I was like, oh God, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. But I kept going. And then all of a sudden something just happens and the door just opens and you're like, all right, I'll see y'all later. So
love y'all.
We forget what we ask, we subliminally ask and then something happens and you're like, good, thank you so much. Pandemic or whatever,
And I got them through the pandemic. So we did all the pre-records. I did all of those things until April of 2021, through Easter. And then they were going to use old videos and they were going to do some other things leading up to. So I knew that I didn't want to go. I didn't want to be there when the doors reopened because I knew that it would be harder for me to leave. So I gave my notice.
When doors reopened, it was time to rebuild every church over
exactly.
Again.
And I knew that was time for someone else to step into position.
Someone else. Just a minute before we keep going, everybody, please remember to like, Feel free to comment, subscribe, and share. We're here at the St. James Show. So don't just look, but like the video and subscribe to the channel. So that's just a thing all across the board, what was going on. So I don't blame you, because you worked hard for 17 years and you pretty much had to start doing it again.
Yeah, and I wasn't ready to, and I knew that I wasn't in the rebuilding phase. You know, like I knew that if I gave another year, I was gonna burn out completely.
Yeah.
And so I was like, while we're down, I'm gonna leave before the doors reopen. That way people don't see me. Like when the doors reopen, they don't see me there. And then all of a sudden I'm now gone again. So I'm like, let me just leave now. You know, let me just put my 2 weeks in now. And so had a conversation with Bishop Jones, had a conversation with my department, got everybody on a Zoom call, said my goodbyes, you know, and all those things, and kind of just went on my merry way.
And then there was no more Jason McGee at City of Refuge.
There was no more Jason McGee at City of Refuge. I never thought I'd say that, though. Honestly, man, I thought at one point I was going to be a lifer for sure.
Yeah, you thought you were going to be a Jonathan Greer, huh? There just for years upon years upon years.
How long was Jay there? How long was he there?
He was at Greater Bethany for a long time. I'm not too sure. Oh yeah, he was at Greater Bethany for years. I used to remember. I was a kid watching Jonathan direct. Yeah, at Greater Bethany. Yeah.
Wow. Because I joined Bethany I was only at Bethany 4 years before we moved over to
4 years.
Before it became City of Refuge. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was only at Bethany. I started going to Bethany in '98, and I joined in 2000, and we moved in 2003.
Oh, okay.
Over to City Refuge. So I wasn't there super long. But of course, I mean, you can't say Greater Bethany without saying Jonathan Greer. Like
you just can't. You try.
Like one of the greatest to ever do it. So.
Yeah. He was just so amazing. We would go at the councils, and I mean, I remember the year he put me up to direct. I thought I was in heaven. Jonathan Greer.
The man is a legend.
I thought I was in heaven. And then working with him now with the Edwin Hawkins, you know, now we're with Donald, and he's still the choir coordinator over there. So, which we need to get you with us next in 2025.
Let's go.
Yeah, you got to go to Music and Arts Global. Definitely.
Yes, let's go. Donald's my dude. So, yes, I would love to be a part of it.
Psalms. We loved Psalms.
Oh, me too.
Now, that was a choir.
Pride and Joy. Every day, all day.
Yeah.
What about
It was just so many divas and divos in there. I don't understand how you kept up with. You know, my friend Marquis is the biggest Devo in there.
You know what's funny though? Marquis is the easiest person to lead in the world. Like
he really is.
He's a dream choir member. Yeah. The rest of them, not always.
Not
definitely
so
Marquis.
So I loved you guys went to Vegas. I saw you perform in Vegas.
Yeah.
Excellent. Man, and no, you were with excuse me. The next time you went to Vegas, were you with the choir or with Psalms?
For Stellars, I was with Psalms first, and then the choir went the year after. Yeah, we were back to back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you had Lena Bird singing with you, and that was with the choir, right?
Yes, that's with the choir. Yeah, that's
and that was Promise. Was she singing Promises or another song?
Yep, it's Promises, which was my first single with the choir. Lena was the feature on it.
Oh, okay. Listen,
yeah,
I got a tickle.
It's all that water. It's all that water. Do it, Lord. Do it, Lord, with this water.
I think he's trying to tell me something. I ain't listening, Lord. I ain't listening. Okay. Man.
Funny.
So the choir, My Block. Are you still with My Block?
God, if I had a nickel for every time I got that question. No, I am no longer with My Block Inc.
That was really short-lived, Jason.
That was 8 years. That is not short.
Was it 8 years?
Yes, it was 8 years. 8 amazing years, but 8 years, yes.
No, I'm tripping there.
Yeah, it was 8 years. Mm-hmm. I signed in 2015.
So tell me this. Does that is the choir still together? Is Jason McGee and the choir still
100%.
100%.
You're about to find out a little bit more in a very, very, very short amount of time.
Okay, that was my next question. I'm like, do we need to get you signed somewhere again? What's the problem?
You're about to find out some more in just a short amount of time. I'll just say this: mum's the word until I release it.
Okay, but something great is on the horizon.
Extremely great. Yes, yes. Very excited about this next chapter. My relationship with My Block is very much intact. Yeah. Warren, myself, Erica, Misty, Lena, we're all very good friends. Again, like the City of Refuge, you just have to know when it's time to go. Yeah. I had an amazing conversation with them individually and collectively, and let them know that I felt like it was time for me to go. They were cool with it. Everything's amicable. I prayed for peace. I prayed for resolve, and I made my exit. So I'm not a messy dude, and I don't like to leave things messy. That's not who I am. So for me, I will clean something up before I go. So yeah, it's all well.
Well, you said you're not a messy dude, huh?
No, I'm not. I feel like you about to get messy.
No.
But no, I'm not.
It's just what they say is,
St. James is watching. Oh, messy ass.
But I'm not gonna be messy. No, but I love all the artists they got over there on My Block. So
yeah, they got a good roster, man.
So your musical mentors, you mentioned Orlando, you mentioned Tyrone. Any other ones that kind of put you in the vein of,
mentors? Oh, sound quality, Donald Lawrence for sure. Directing though, Ricky, Orlando, Tyrone, and my mama.
And your mama.
And my mama.
Mary McGee.
Mary McGee.
We honored her with the Lifetime Achievement Award in Gospel Music, and I'm glad she was able to receive hers from Edwin Hawkins.
Yes.
He was actually there the night
that
she came. So I'm glad that she was able to receive a well honored, she was definitely due that honor.
Yeah, she actually mentioned that today. She was Chris is the reason why I got my Edwin Hawkins Award. So yes, Mom, remember, I wrote your bio. Yes, I remember.
You wrote the bio. Okay.
Absolutely. We're going to make sure she's honored the right way.
Yes. And it was a good bio. It was very good. It was very good. I enjoyed that. I loved it. We're going to do it again with Donald Lawrence. He's going to be coming and kind of taking over that. So when we move forward, he's going to kind of fill in. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Donald's the man.
Man, so what's going on with Jason's love life? Are you married?
Oh,
are you dating?
We doing this? Okay. Oh, this is what we doing tonight?
Blame it on the
water. Blame it on the water. Oh God, Jason's love life. Wow, what is that?
Don't say what is that.
What is that? What is Jason's love life? What does it look like? I'm still trying to figure it out, if I'm being honest. I'm still trying to figure out what my love life looks like. I I date on and off, but
I think it's a creative curse. It's like creatives. Like I was interviewing Vincent Bohannon, and I asked him that. And he was like, I just do me. I go to the movies by myself. I go to the movies by myself, and I'm like,
same.
I mean, now you got it. See,
I know.
No matter if it's water or not.
You asked me about my love life, and I start choking.
Now you want to choke. I gotta go.
Now I'm like,
okay.
No, it's tough. It's tough. I will say, ministry and artistry, when they combine, it's hard to make way for love. It's tough. It's very challenging to find love.
There's Mama.
Hi, Mom.
Hey,
Mommy. But it's hard to find love. It's hard to fall in love. It's hard to just develop it. You know what I mean? Because you're typically only seen and known because you're on stage, or by the time you start directing publicly or moving around and moving on the road with like a Maverick City or being on tour with a Kirk Franklin, stuff like that. So what happens is the only people who see you typically see you because of that. So then
Yeah.
you're like, are they trying to date you because of that? Are they trying to date you
That's
because
always the issue. What are they actually really attracted
what do you
to?
want? Is the real question. And so on stage, Jason and real Jason are two very different people. On stage, I am commanding and confident and
Mean?
strong. And
Mean
so,
or no?
no, I'm not mean. I'm
Okay.
stern though.
Stern. Okay, that's a
I'm
good word
stern
for it.
though.
Stern.
My,
So that's
my
what called me.
eyes.
Jason said, "Don't, Chris, don't play." No, I don't play. I'm just there. You go, Jason. We're stern.
We're stern. I mean, you try me and good luck. But
Yeah, yeah,
I'm like I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm authoritative and all those things. Real Jason's got some insecurities.
yeah.
He's a little needy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, so people date you for your on stage persona, and then the real you might be somebody else. And so it gets a little tough. It gets a little challenging. That's been my challenge, honestly.
And it's kind of typical, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then because I'm sure you always have just your guard up. Like, what do you really want?
My guard is as big as the Empire State Building.
No, man, we got to
It's
knock
a
that down,
it's a wall, buddy.
man.
But
Man,
we'll see. You never know. You never know. The
you
night
got
is
one of
young.
them. You got one of them Trump built walls, huh?
You can finish that one. My wall is finished.
Your walls are finished. We still looking for his. Yeah, yeah. So Maverick City, how
Yes.
did you get that gig?
Truthfully, we were how did I get that? The creative director for the first tour, he and I had done some work together, like professionally. Like my choir used to do a lot of stuff through his company. We did the
Okay.
trumpet awards, we did all these things. So he ended up getting the job as the creative director for Maverick City's first tour. And they were putting a choir together. And at the last minute, they were like, we need a choir director. He was like, I have a guy. This guy does a lot with TV. He does a lot with multicultural choirs. He does a lot in the industry. I think he'll be great for this. And so he called and said, hey, do you want to go on tour at Maverick City? I said, no, I don't.
I don't.
I don't. And he was like, you do. I was
Oh.
like, no, I really don't. So we got off the phone. He called back. He was like, hey, they know who you are and they really want you to come on tour. And I was like, let's talk numbers and we'll see if it makes any sense. I had just left the City of Refuge. And
you didn't have to wait. You didn't have to wait and hear from the Lord.
No. No, I didn't pray about it. I should have.
When we get that number, we'll tell the Lord, okay, Lord, I'm going to do this, so I need you to go with me.
I need you to go with me. I'll say this, though.
Yeah.
I'll say this, though. People always think, I've run into quite a few people who thought I left the City of Refuge for Maverick City. That is not true.
Right.
That is
you
not
had
true.
gone before that.
Yeah, I was gone. I was gone from the city 2 months before I heard from Mav. And wasn't sure what I was going to do next. I just knew that it was time. And so in that, when Mav called, I'll say this, they exceeded all of my expectations financially.
Wow.
They exceeded all of my expectations in so many other things. They allowed me to build them a 685 voice choir around the country. They really let me run my own show when it came to that choir.
So godly proud of you when I saw you doing
Thank
that.
you.
I was like, this is amazing, because everybody that comes out of the Black church has a difficult problem. It's not as easy as you think to worship and to create a more diverse atmosphere and deal with more of a diverse singers and people. That's not easy to do. Everybody can't do it.
Very hard. Very hard. You have so many different interpretations of what it's supposed to sound like, feel like, be like. So going in there and meeting, because on the first tour, I was literally meeting a new choir every single day. I didn't know these people. They didn't know me. They had never seen me. I'd never seen them. And I had to get them ready in 3 hours to be on tour, to be on stage with Mav, singing and dancing and choreography and all these things. Wow. And so I was like, nah, I can't do that twice. So I did it for the first tour. And then on the second tour, I built them a choir and we did that thing, man. 50 dates, 50 tour dates around the entire country with this big old choir. Just, I had an amazing team of like 30 people working with me, just doing it. And I gotta say, it's probably, other than building Psalms, this might have been one of the biggest things I had ever done.
Because I heard you didn't let everybody in Psalms. You had some criteria.
Absolutely. Of course. I have criteria for all my choirs. Man.
I heard you had some bitter beer faces over there at the city. They were like, I can't be in Psalms. Well, honey, I guess you didn't match up. Sorry.
I mean, with Psalms, man, you had to be able to sing and dance at the same time. That alleviated a lot of people.
It sure did.
You got to be able to sing it. You got to hit that choreo, man. Like, it was, once we realized that was going to be our version of ministry.
And you even had like aerobic classes or things. I mean, didn't
we
you
had
have
choreography classes?
Oh, was it choreography? I thought you had like maybe exercise, like you must have been when I saw it, it must have been y'all dancing.
Yeah, it was usually us dancing, and it looked like, trust me, it looked like jazzercise by the time.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Yeah.
But like, we would do a night of choreography. We would do a night of like getting ready for a concert. We would do a night of vocals only, where we would sit down and we would beat out every note, and we would just get all the vocals down. And then we would do a night of just choreography, no singing, to save their voices. And then we would do a night we would put it all together.
Thank you, cousin. That's my cousin.
Hey, cuz. And then we would do a night of putting it all together before we actually got on the stage. And so Psalms, they were some troopers, man. We was rehearsing like we were recording. We were really just a church choir.
Right. But you took that to another level. I remember, let me go back. Psalms was in at the Stellar Awards is it Nashville?
Yes.
Yes, I remember. And you were you brought Psalms and we were at that church. It was a musical. Yeah.
2014.
Man.
Yeah, that was a highlight for us for sure.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I was there.
Psalms hit this. We hit this lane, man, where they were just like, I was always like wowed by them myself. I used to tell them all the time. Sometimes just like standing back and being y'all director, just watching y'all.
Yeah.
Because they would like the way they would enter like an army, and they would approach every song like they owned it. And they would, they got up on that stage. I remember it was 1:00 in the morning at that choir fest. And they let out a sound that literally made the mics feedback. They were so loud. And like the audience was just like, and I was like, all right, this is my little choir.
Yeah.
33 of them. I'll never forget that night. It was a good night.
I remember at the Stellar's Hezekiah's now, y'all had to come. And this is when I felt sorry for y'all. Not that y'all couldn't measure up, but they had to whip that place. Bishop Ford. Oh my God. You remember?
we were against them at How Sweet the Sound.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were our competition at How Sweet the Sound for the finals. Yep, they did Total Praise. Why do I remember this? But yeah, they did Total Praise out of Philly, right? Bishop Ford,
out of Philly.
Yeah, they're incredible.
And I had never seen them. I really didn't follow Bishop Ford and them or whatever. But that night, I was like, oh my God. But so many choirs. You guys were waiting for. Everybody was waiting forever. It was a lot.
Ever.
Yeah, forever.
We've done the choir fest 3 times. I think Psalms did it twice. My choir's done it. I think the choir has done it only once. And that's when we released Promises. So we did it. We did it once in Vegas with Lena, and 3 times. So I go every year though. I can't help it. I love it.
I know it's I just have to be there. It's
so good.
It is really good. I mean, when you're a choir head, you have to go and support. I'm glad Hezekiah Walker is still keeping it going.
Yeah, he's the man for that. As an OG, you know how you do it.
Oh yeah. It ain't no. I loved it. He caught me when he had Kevin Lemons, and when that Tiffany Boone was at that choir fest. That was the thing right there.
I mean, you just named 2 like greats. May he rest in peace. May Kevin rest in peace for sure.
Definitely. Oh man. So tell me something. Dante Bowe.
What
was that issue? Well, you don't have to get into details, but he was dismissed from Maverick City. And were you close friends with him, or
no?
Oh, you were not.
No.
So you can't give me no good sweet tea?
If I could, I would. Like, I'm just being honest with you. I wouldn't tell anything.
I know.
So, Dante and I, if I'm being honest, we're actually very good friends, but I'm never going to.
Okay. He has something new out coming too, right?
Yeah, wish them all well.
Yeah.
Like, do your thing. You know what I mean? But Dante recovered just fine.
And I loved that because I don't care what he may have done or did do. It's like so much goes on in the back of choirs and groups. And we're not even, between Black, Hispanic, white, it doesn't matter the group or choir. Everybody in that group or choir are humans.
You know what they say? They say when the devil fell from heaven, he fell into the choir stand.
I believe that. I believe that.
If you don't, who was that told me this one time? They said, if you don't have I think maybe my mom told me, if you don't have a little bit of mess in your choir, it's not a very good choir.
It's not a very good choir. Nobody wants to participate.
Nobody wants to listen to a perfect holy choir. Like you need somebody arguing in here.
Yeah. I told Vincent Bohannon, man. Yeah, he talking about I had to get them SOVs together, and because y'all wild.
Oh, but they sing.
They can sing, no, and you want to listen to them. You want to listen to them.
You're gonna shout with them too.
Yeah, and I can just appreciate people who are just people and who do ministry. I can't appreciate someone who doesn't realize that they're human.
Yeah.
And realize that, things will happen, mistakes will be made, but we're all in this thing just trying to survive and live.
Every day. People get upset about churches and whatever the case may be. For me, I think I rectified it a long time ago when I realized that churches are run by humans and humans are flawed.
Humans are flawed. That's right. Man. Yeah.
And it's just like, and unfortunately, humans will human. So, it is what it is. So we all got some. When it came to Mav, if I'm honest, I kept my head down.
Okay.
Like, I do my job. You know what I mean? And like direct that choir, get them on and off stage, make sure they have their choreo, make sure they eat, make sure their clothes look good, make sure they get on that stage and do what they're supposed to do for 2.5 hours with Mav, send them off, pray with them, send them off, go on that bus, eat my after show food, and go to bed. Like that's how you keep. I'm older than all of them, and so like getting involved in all the who did it and what for is nah, man. As long as I look at my account and my check is there.
I need to. As long as that. What date is it? Let me check my account.
Make sure that spell my name right on my check. I don't care what y'all doing. Spell my name right on my check.
Yeah. But I like what you said about, nobody wants, you need a choir with a little mess, but you said you like the way Psalms used to walk in. I love a choir who was confident. I remember going to the councils, the PAW, especially down in LA. We would go to LA. I would never forget down at LA Marriott, LAX. We had a council there and Bishop McMurray was still living. Wow. And he brought Greater Bethany choir in there. And they came maybe 200 strong, maybe.
Yeah.
Robed up, confident, got on that stage. Jonathan Greer just commanded that entire council.
Always.
And I and from that on, it's like I don't. You cannot sing with me and not have an air of elegance and an air of arrogance.
Just say confidence, man.
Oh, please. We know what it is.
Let me tell you something. If I'm being honest, Psalms definitely they blurred the line sometimes between arrogance and confidence.
Yeah. But y'all from LA, y'all Hollywood, y'all.
But this book is like, people in LA ain't from LA.
That's true.
Like,
That's
Psalms
true.
definitely they blurred the line sometimes. I think toward the end, I think arrogance kind of started outweighing the confidence just a little bit more than it should have.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of that was my fault. I think I made them, I would tell them how amazing they were all the time, and I would always be
what
like,
you should do.
Y'all are the best. Yeah, but like then it started turning on me a little bit.
They said, wait a minute, honey.
And then they stopped listening.
Who made you.
Right. Then they stopped listening. I was like, no, wait a minute now. Hold on. Don't turn on me now. But when they were, I think when the confidence was godly, I really feel like that's when we were like at our best, man. Like I would they would always do this thing. They were so trained they would do this thing. They would wait at the side entrance, and then they would I would go like this, and then they would all file in together, and they would just stop and turn, and it was just like a thing, man.
Good.
And we didn't rehearse none of it.
And it was really good old school
It was
choir
old school
discipline too.
But we had a lot of rules in place. We had a lot, man. I had so many rules. People didn't realize it. Like back then, I was just a different director, and I was like so hungry for this thing. And I had my girls had to on Sunday mornings. They had to be in hair, heels, and makeup.
I like that.
It was mandatory.
But before you go on, remember hair, heels, and makeup. Everybody, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. If you like this commentary, then join, subscribe to the St. James Show. Hair, heels, and see, that's one thing. That's what I like about Kurt Carr. Kurt Carr got a standard. If you want to sing with him.
And you know what it is? People I always remember people going like, why do you make them do that? Like, why are you making them dance in heels? And why do your girls always have to look so put together? And I was like, if you're singing about Jesus and look busted, who's coming to him? Yeah. Who's trying to give their life to the God you serve? The world should never look better than you. Yeah. Because why would they come to your God if they got to all of a sudden look busted? That doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. And so for us, I was like, nah, we're going to present this thing like God has been blessing us like crazy. Even if we're going through some stuff, we're going to present this thing really well. So Psalms, we were big on it, man. They couldn't take their shoes off during concerts, 2 hours of singing in heels and dancing. We were younger then, so things were a little bit different. But
the knees are a little shaky now.
Yeah, they're a little shaky. Now with the choir, I'll be like, put on your sneakers and let's go. Let's roll.
Get your bag and have your flip flops or something on.
Exactly. Let's go put your flats on.
Yeah, but that's all. That's a good choir master. That's because you're looking at the big picture of everything. Just not looking at the sound and. It's the presentation of everything from start to finish. And that's what makes a choir master. I was so freaking impressed with Donald Lawrence in London. He from start to finish to those days that we were there, everything was so meticulous. Everything was just so, I'm like, who can't get with this? And then the stage, the music was just phenomenal. That's a choir master to me.
It's Donald, man. Donald's meticulous. He makes me look lazy. He makes me look like I let everything slide. And I am pretty OCD. I'm OCD about their lip color. But Donald is a whole new level of this thing. I'll be like, Jesus. I'm like, golly. But that's why he's who he is.
But doesn't it give you hope that and the longevity that he's been in this thing, we're gonna be in here a long time. We can do this thing for a long time.
I'm gonna be here for a while. Yeah,
right.
I ain't going nowhere.
Do you see yourself staying in LA, or are you seeing some other city on the horizon?
That's funny that you say that, man. I keep saying I'm gonna move one day. LA has been home for 25 years, and I just haven't tired out of the city.
From Mary McGee.
Nah, that's funny you say. I love that Mary McGee.
I know.
God, man, that's my best friend, man. But Mary McGee and Cassie Grigsby, those are my two.
Oh, okay, all right, got to throw Cassie in there.
But she's been like, whenever you're ready to go, we understand, So it just has to be the right situation. Truthfully, man, I want to move out of the country.
You want to move out of the country?
I would love to move away.
They appreciate gospel so much more than we do. We can do it. We sound great doing it. But I think they put their money where their mouth is when it comes to gospel.
They do.
So we went there when we were in London. They showed up. It's hard to do that here, and even GMWA struggles now.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think I toured in Japan for a bit, and the way they opened their arms to us was crazy. Africa has a huge gospel scene. A lot of the countries in Africa, they have such a large gospel scene that we know nothing about. London, of course, has a huge gospel scene, and I don't know. I don't know if it's because it's for them, it's always a delicacy. I think they also have a little bit more of a genuineness to God, so they kind of appreciate his music. I think, America is just a little bit different, especially the West Coast, man. We struggle over here when it comes to
Yeah,
gospel.
when you think gospel, maybe back in the day when the Bay Area was the Hawkins.
Of course.
That was like gospel. Okay, everybody knew California or West Coast was Hawkins.
Yeah.
But when you talk gospel now, West Coast?
Not at all. Not even in the conversation.
No.
We're not even in the conversation. And it's really tough, especially like you have like gospel on the West Coast, but then you have choirs on the West Coast. And that's even less of a conversation than just gospel in general. Because at least with gospel in general, you can talk about the original Kurt Carr singers. You can talk about Mary and Erica now and Lena now. And you can talk, you can have these conversations. But then you talk about choirs, like you have us, you have a couple other choirs in the city of LA.
And Eddie Beltrip, I guess, in San Diego.
Yes. And Eddie's been here longer than all of us.
Yeah, he has. He's been
killing it for many years. He's an amazing choir director with an incredible choir, but he's on the West Coast. So
he's on the West Coast.
Our claim to fame, if you will, has been mainstream, being the choir for so many different artists, movie soundtracks, TV shows. That's where we have really done really well because we're one of the only choirs on the West Coast doing it the way we do it. So it's been really beneficial for us.
And it's great to have wonderful connections.
I mean, God is good.
Don't burn them bridges.
No.
That is excellent, man. So what else is Jason up to? Was Jonathan talking about me? I don't know.
No, we were just talking about him.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
What else am I up to?
Yeah.
Oh man, what am I not up to? Just honestly writing the next album with my choir. How
much did you write of the last album?
Of the last one, I only wrote. Let me see. Single-handedly wrote without anyone 2 songs.
And that's hard to do because even when you write songs, a lot of people like to put their hands on them.
Plus, I don't play an instrument. So me writing a song is a whole new, like we work backwards with me because like there's a song on my album called Psalm 25, Show Me Your Ways. I wrote that song. And so I had to teach it to the choir and then submit it and then send it in for them to add music to it and then shift it and change it. And then we added minors and this, that, and the other. But it was like, it's a longer process with me because I don't play an instrument. But on the new one, so far out of the 10, I've single-handedly wrote 7 and then co-wrote 2. And then we have a song from someone else. So it's just what I want to say on this album is a little bit different than the things that I've wanted to talk about before. This one's going to be a little bit more vulnerable, a little more transparent. And
that's what people want to see.
Exactly. This one's not just going to be, it's not just going to be Sunday morning music. That's not the goal. The goal is we have something to say. I've had something to say for a while. And so this will be the album where I get a chance to say it. And then my choir, they're such good troopers. Like they just literally show up for rehearsal and go on the ride with me. They hear my testimonies and my vulnerability and they sing it out as if it was theirs. So, shout out to them. Shout out to the 14 of them who hold it down. And
then, like this person said, how can they join? Are you looking for new members? Are you set? You set with your 14?
Well, there will be an opportunity at the top of the year. I don't want to say too much right now, but there will, if people pay attention to like my social media.
And your social media, let me make sure that I get that. I believe it is. What did I didn't mean to press that. Disclaimer. Yeah, that's what I want to talk to y'all about. No.
I would have been nervous right there because I wouldn't have known how to remove it.
I am Jason McGee.
I am Jason McGee is mine.
And then you have the choir one, right?
It's J McGee and choir.
J McGee. Moderators, can you put that in the chat? J McGee and choir.
I think that's the new one. You get it right. Yeah, J McGee and choir. We had to change it. We got hacked.
Okay.
So yes.
But I think there's a link to your regular one to the choir one.
Yeah, I think I want to say that it's in my bio.
I think it is in your bio.
It is in my bio. So people can go to my bio and then there will be an opportunity to kind of partner with us. I'm kind of working on something a little bit different for this album. And so It'll be announced, it'll be promoted, but there will be an opportunity to kind of partner with us, and I'll be looking for people from all over if they want to, kind of hang with us a little bit and do something really special with us in 2024. So to the person who asked how can they join, that's going to be how you can join. As far as membership of the choir, I'm good with my 14.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, we
and you know what the unfortunate part is, it's hard to travel with a lot of people.
Oh yeah, it's impossible.
Yeah. So these big choirs, that's why we had a conversation when about the Lillian Lloyd thing and Ricky Dillard thing, but they were saying how, the choirs the choir they has, I mean, they pay for everything themselves. Ricky can't pay for 100 and 200 people.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Even Maverick City, our choir, they got themselves to the events. They got them.
Yeah.
They were volunteering basically. They got themselves to like whatever. We fed them and we ensured that certain things were done. But you can't move that machine. There's literally not enough money for anyone to eat. It would be everybody gets $10. By the time you're done.
Yeah, and that's because theoretically, if people think about that, like, you would get what, $10?
Yeah.
Gospel doesn't pay all that much anyway.
It doesn't pay at all.
They'll get you some money, but it's not like mainstream.
Right, which is why we've done really well mainstream. That's why we've done well with mainstream. I actually am, thank God, I am one of the, I don't know if I'm one of the only directors, but I know that I'm a director who pays my singers. And because we do so much with mainstream, I've been afforded that privilege. And
the money's there.
The money's there. And it's just like it's an easier way to tell for them, me to tell them thank you. That's why I've had people rocking with me for years, because they know if I ask you to do it for free, it's because there was just no money. It means I wasn't even making anything. And so but I'm the guy who will take a little bit from himself to make sure everybody got a little something. We all got to eat together.
Yeah. Is this your Cash App?
I think so. But the people sending me an offering,
they might
receive it. I think it is. Yes, it is my Cash App.
Okay, everyone, send a little something to Jason. Buy his dinner. Give him dinner.
I mean, come on. Thanks, Chris. We struggling artists out here, buddy.
We know you, and in LA. My God.
Woo, don't even start on that.
Yeah.
How's the great city of Fresno treating you?
It's treating me okay. Everybody asks why, because I don't want to pay y'all $1 million for a 1-bedroom.
I know. It's ridiculous. What is the going rent in Fresno?
I think a 1-bedroom in a very nice 1-bedroom with all the amenities, you can probably get for about 14 to 17, depending on what you get.
That's pretty expensive, though.
Something is attacking me. Oh, that's what I need. I'm sorry. Excuse me, everybody.
He needs more water.
I need more water.
He's dehydrated, if you will.
Yeah, but Fresno is still reasonable. We're still reasonable here.
Okay.
So
I mean, 14 to 17 is pretty expensive though for Central Valley.
It's going up.
Yeah, that's pretty
expensive. Now you can go get a 1-bedroom, excuse me, for about $800, but you're gonna know you got a 1-bedroom for $800.
Let me tell you something. I remember back in 2002, I moved into a 1-bedroom in the hood, man, and I lived in the jungles, bro. The jungles, man. I was like, be careful what color you wear. Wear neutrals. Yeah. And my rent was $711. I don't want that. I don't want the jungles back, but I want that rent back.
Yeah. You don't.
I don't want the jungles back.
Somebody said they Ricky nurse. Do you remember Ricky? They said it was Ricky's nurse.
Of course. The nurse. Of course. Artist. Yes. Of course. I met her.
No, I thought.
Oh my God. 14. No,
she followed.
I met her.
Is that a he?
She.
That's a she. Okay.
She. Yeah. I met her in 2008 when we did not.
Wow.
When we opened the Stellars. We opened the Stellars with Not About Us in 2008 in Nashville at the Grand Ole Opry. Ricky and them did The Light. Ricky and them did The Light that night. Yep. I'll never forget her. She was amazing. Yep, we've been friends since then. Of course, I remember.
Okay, she's a follower, and she told me that last time. I'm like, you ain't none of Ricky's nerds.
Oh, yes, she was. She was right there with him too, boy.
Oh man!
I need a
All
nurse.
right, we love you, the nurse. Thank you for joining us over here at the St. James Show. And this is Miss Leah Marie.
Oh, we know Leah, that voice. Who could not know that voice, man? I promise you, the Central Valley has some of the greatest talent ever.
Oh yeah, we've had some diamonds come out of the valley.
Absolutely. I mean, I literally always kind of keep people from Bakersfield in my personal choir too.
Yeah,
because like it's just different. You know what I mean? It's just raw, beautiful, natural talent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Fresno, you know, as you know, the Grigsbys, we still roll real hard together.
Yeah.
You know, the Central Valley definitely has the talent for sure. It's raw.
It is. It's raw talent. You know, but so you don't got to watch them because some around here, you know, you put them on a stage, and all of a sudden, when they get on their own, they start telling you, "Can you talk to my manager?"
Yeah.
Girl, no, I'm not talking to your damn manager. I'm talking to you.
No, talk to their manager.
The one who put you on for years.
Respect the art. Talk to their manager, man.
But you know, in my thing, I don't have a problem with that. It's like, but I'm gonna have a conversation with you first. Once we discuss some things,
right. We gotta lock in.
Okay, let me go ahead and talk to your manager now, and we'll get everything together. But don't you dare
send me your manager's information.
I say, can you do something for me? You don't even want to talk about it. You were well, here's my manager, but F you and your manager and the horse they came up on. Now you
remind me to send you my manager's information if you ever invite me to Fresno.
Oh.
Like, no, don't talk to me. You can talk to my manager. They'll handle all of this.
I did like this. If I text you and say, Jason, I got this, I'm on it. Oh, okay, that sounds cool. Okay, just clear everything through. Tell them I said it was cool. Let's do it. And then I can understand that because everything still has to be coordinated. I don't expect you to coordinate it, but I need you just to say, listen, okay, cool. Because that shows some appreciation of some doggone stages I put you on, because wouldn't nobody know your behinds. Oh, let me not go there.
He's talking to y'all now. He venting.
I ain't talking to Jason.
He's talking to y'all now. He venting now, boy.
That ain't Jason.
It's the water. It's definitely the water, for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, man, I don't want to keep you too long tonight. I just really wanted to see what was going on with Jason McGee, what's next on the horizon, what's life doing for him. And, you know, and you really broke it down, and I really appreciate you.
I appreciate you too, man. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks for caring. You know what I mean? Like, I appreciate that. Life is good. I'm a blessing.
Look at mama.
What'd she say?
I said, yeah, that's his cash app.
Mary McGee gonna make sure her child get an offering. You hear me?
And even those, go ahead.
I was gonna say my mother was the first person to ever pay me to direct a choir, and it was a choir that she was the director of.
That's
my mother
amazing.
Was like, "No, you're coming. It's gas. It's wear and tear on your body. You are gonna come, and I'm gonna pay you." My mother paid me. So, Mom, kudos to you. Thank you so much. I hope I've repaid you.
That is so much respect. That it really is, and you can appreciate that. Yeah, even those of you who are watching right now with the replay, feel free to utilize that Cash App and bless Mr. Jason McGee. He didn't ask for it. I'm just requesting that you do it. All right.
I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. I'm not gonna turn down my blessings. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Just accept it.
Right. Thank you very much. I appreciate
and again, this is his social media. I am Jason McGee. Add him on Instagram, and you can also check out the choir Instagram, and it's in his bio. On his main deal.
Yes.
So we want you to definitely do that. Man, what don't I know about you yet? Before we go, let me see.
My favorite color is red. My favorite color is red.
Your favorite color is red. I don't know, but that peach. That peach was nice.
The jacket.
Yeah, it kind of peachy anyway. You know how we
right. I was basically naked with a white shirt on, pretty much with that. I know you ain't calling me peachy.
You listen.
sir.
I'm just a little bright. Just a little bright. That's all.
You make me look dark. Nah, red is my favorite color.
Okay, that's
Funny,
cool.
man.
That's cool. Man, there was something else I was going to ask you, but it slipped my mind, so I guess it wasn't important. But man, I really appreciate you coming through and just hanging out and letting us get to know a little bit more about Jason. What did Mom say? You definitely have. Love you, son. Thank you, Chris. It's been a friend. Man, I have been knowing you guys and I'm glad you reminded me. It was Vernon Chapel.
Yep.
His music, his workshops.
Absolutely. It
wow.
was okay, I hadn't moved yet. So it was like 95, 96. I think I was like 15 or 16, somewhere like around there, like when you and I met for sure. And it was, I remember the church it was at.
That I was at?
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
I remember the church where I met you because he only had it at a couple places. So the last place that he had it at, mom can correct me. I think it was either Abundant Life on the corner.
Yeah. Now that you say that, I remember Abundant Life.
Hughes and White Lane. I think it was that big old church on the corner of Hughes and White Lane. I think that's that was the last church, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was the last church he had it. Because then I moved away a couple years later, so I wasn't sure what went on after that. But Mom directed the choir for years over there.
Are you attending any church right now? Or you just kind of chilling?
Yeah, I just joined a new church. I took a little time off. Praise the Lord. I needed a break. I needed a minute.
You grew up Church of God in Christ. You escaped them and went over there to the Apostolic Church.
To the PAWs, to the Paws.
The PA of the W.
But all due respect to all the PAW folks that are watching, I've never necessarily claimed to be PAW. I don't claim Kojic anymore either. I just love the Lord.
Because they over there cutting up and
I love the Lord
out of them rooms for
convocation. I love the Lord. That's it. We're not talking about the Kojics because they gave me my foundation. So thank you, Kojics. I appreciate you. You taught me all I know, and I'm grateful. Thank you very much. And my grandfather was a Kojic bishop, so I will never dog off the Kojic faith because my grandfather was the man. But I just love God. I definitely say I'm non-denominational. I love God. I'm saved. And that's just where we're gonna leave it because I don't know that he's going to look me in the face when I get to heaven and be like, "But you weren't Kojic." So for me, it just has to be
absolutely not.
No, he's not. So
he's absolutely not. Yeah.
So now my church is called Oasis LA. It's a multicultural church. It's very different for me. I just started a choir there this year, so it's a little different, and we're just trying to build on that. So, the pastor and I have become very close.
You said multicultural?
Yeah, it's a multicultural church. Yep, completely. And it's probably, and what I love about it is equal percentage of every ethnicity. So there's no, it doesn't lean one way or another. Like literally everyone in the room is something different. And I love that because I feel like it looks like heaven. So for me, that's what I needed in this next season of my life. Maverick City introduced me to it. And then I just decided to kind of go with it.
That is great. I mean, that's when I left the Pentecostal church, PAW or whatever, I went to a non-denominational church and it changed my life.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really did. It opened up my horizons. I actually understood what some of the scriptures meant, even after all those years. Yeah.
although nobody breaks them down like Bishop Jones, I give him that.
Well, you need a thesaurus, a concordance, like encyclopedia, but
you do,
he
man.
will break it down.
We used to literally Google what he was saying. We would on a dictionary app trying to type in what he was saying because we didn't understand the word. And I remember looking up the word and it was like, he used that perfectly.
And used it in the right context. Yeah.
The man is a genius. And so Bishop Jones of every pastor I've ever been under changed my life the most as it relates to the word. And so he just kind of opened my mind to it. So now my new pastor is just a different vibe of the same exact thing. He tells more jokes. He's a comedian. So it's just a little bit of a different vibe.
Is he of the Caucasian persuasion?
He's not. He's black.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's black. I said I wanted a black pastor, but a multicultural church. And I feel like God heard my heart on that. So
Yeah, I was one here, but he went a little Trumpish on me. I had to bounce. Yeah, I had to get out of here.
We just pray my pastor don't do that.
Yeah, just stay in the word. Don't go nowhere else.
Just keep it separate. Just because I may have to turn him a little pink slip on that one, because there's some things I just can't get with. So, but so far we good. We good on the politic tip.
That's good. Yeah, just keep it out of the church. Keep it out of the church,
please.
You were such a blessing tonight. I don't want to keep you. You have to be. But before you go, I want to remind everyone else to make sure you like before you get out of here, and that you subscribe and also support the St. James Show. Thanks again so much, Jason.
Thank you. Thank you for asking me, man. Appreciate
Let's do it again. Let's see what you do in the beginning of the year.
Okay.
New choir. Let's get that out there. I definitely want to touch bases with you and make sure that we're following you and that we are supporting everything that you do.
I appreciate that. That means a lot. Thank you.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate you. We're just going to do a cold exit and get out of here. Appreciate you.